what I wanted to talk about today was LSAT burnout. Yeah, it happens and it can drastically affect your performance. So how do you prevent it? Let's get into it. What is up, fam? It is Shar, and welcome to Law and Living Color, where I provide quick tips and experiences to help guide you through the law school process and legal field as a person of color. Yeah, like my hair too. My hair is of color. I decided to dye it off of a whim. My birthday was recently. I just turned 24, went to Chicago, had a blast. So just life update just then. I did that casually. But yeah, just so the hair doesn't shock y'all too much. During my LSAT process, which took 6 months, I studied for the LSAT about 20-25 hours a week, had a full-time job. But if you've watched any of my prior videos, y'all know this already. The biggest struggle with me was LSAT burnout, and what that is pretty much what any burnout is. It's when you fry your brain on the skillet and you can't put it back in. And what I mean by that is basically you literally just overwork yourself and then you see your performance start to suffer. And what no one really told me was how mentally, like as far as mental health, that this test was concerned with. You know, I guess in my mind it was, oh, I just have to know the question types. I have to know how to attack the question. I have to know how to attack this particular thing. I gotta stop making this mistake. I have to make my weakness my strength. This, that, and the third. But my mental was the last thing on my mind, and it didn't even register to me that the health of my mental health was related to my performance on the LSAT. And I didn't start realizing this until I started plateauing. And I started doing that halfway through my studying. I started getting the same score over and over again. And my frustration was just adding on to that. And because I kept getting the same score, I wasn't giving myself breaks. Where your mentality has to do with 50% of the test, and how you attack the test is the other 50%. So how you attack the test is basically the prep services that you may use, or the books that you're reading, or the tutor that you have. That's 50% attack the test. The other 50% is your mentality. Are you coming with each practice test high energy, focused, ready to take control, ready to dominate? If not, it's possible that you'll suffer. I'm not saying you're going to suffer, but for me, I suffered. When I didn't attack every single practice test with the mentality that I was gonna smash that test, I didn't smash it. In your study outline, or whoever you study with, there's gonna be a learning period, a mastery period, and a testing period. Your learning period is when you learn everything about the test, how to attack it, the question types, all that, and you learn all that stuff. The mastery period is implementing the things that you learned, and you're untimed, you're just practicing, okay? Once you finish that out and you get your timing under control and everything, you start going into the testing period, where you take blocks or practice tests. Blocks are just like sections. So you take 3 sections or 4 sections, and you time yourself as if you are taking a practice test, but you're really only taking a block of it. Then every week you take a full practice test, you grade it, you review it, on to the next. Once you get to that phase, the testing phase, that's when the burnout really commences and can really show its head. To prevent it, either have that day off. If you need 2 days off, then by all means. I cannot stress this enough. Take a break on your day off. Do not look at any LSAT related information, law school related information, application related information. I don't care. Take your break. If your break is, I recommend going outside for a walk, for a run, going outside to just sniff the flowers, whatever you do. I highly recommend that. Me personally, I made sure that I didn't lose what I love to do. So I love to go outside, I love to write, and I love to read. I never dropped those things on my break days. I made sure that I actually did them so then I wouldn't drop them in the long run, because you will look up and study for this test 6 months, 8 months, a year, and you'll start to drop some of the fun things that you used to do, and you have to somehow get back into those things. Find time to decompress after you study. Don't study and go straight to sleep. Do not do that, because your brain will not have the ability to come down, okay? For me, I don't know about y'all, I would dream of logic games when I did not decompress correctly. And I would stress out in my dreams and wake up stressed. So what I recommend is that for at least 30 minutes, you decompress after studying. So if you study on the later spectrum or on the earlier spectrum, just leave time to where you can have some part of your day where you're doing something that you want to do. For me, it was always watching a quick show or scrolling on my phone through social media because I hadn't been able to do that all day. Whatever the case may be, make sure you take at least 30 minutes at the end of your study session to decompress. Thing to prevent LSAT burnout is to never study past your bedtime. So everyone's bedtime is different, but when I say bedtime, the average person is supposed to get between 7 to 8 hours of sleep, okay, to have a functioning brain and to function at their best. Do not sit up here and say, I have to meet my hours of studying, and you're restricting those hours of sleep that you're supposed to be getting, because you are going to burn out quicker. Not only that, but your brain will literally cut off to where anything that you further read, you're not going to retain, and in some cases, you will forget and you will actually digress. So that's all, fam. Look, LSAT burnout is very real, just like it is for everything. You have burnout when you work, you have burnout in school, you have burnout in family, you get burnt out. It is very, very, very important that you keep a good mentality. In order to do that, you have to prevent these burnouts, and that is to have healthy releases. It is to make sure that you're doing things to always make sure that your brain is at its highest functioning capacity, and of course, staying positive throughout the entire process. I promise you, you are worth this. If you are taking this test, if you are struggling, you are worth it. Do not give up. You are going to go through these struggles. Everyone has. I did for sure, and I ended with the score that I was beyond happy to get, and now I will be attending law school. So please, please, please don't give up. I know it is hard, but you can do it. And of course, to end things off with a quote in the words of Susan Taylor: whatever we believe about ourselves and our ability will come true for us. Peace, guys.